crafty friends. Katrina, the crafty cataloger here. It's been a long time, 3 months since I've done a crafty update, so I thought it was high time I get to it. If you are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you will see something that interests you and that inspires you. I share all of my different crafts here on my channel, mostly cross stitch, but some knitting, some quilting, some paper crafting, and I usually also throw in a little bit of information about the books that I've been reading lately. If you're a returning friend, I thank you for coming back to visit with me again. I really don't know how 3 months has gone by and I haven't updated. So let's get right to it. We'll start out today, as usual, with my cross stitch. So I actually feel like I didn't stitch a whole lot in April, May. I did stitch, but there were definitely a few days that went by that I didn't stitch at all, which was depressing to say the least. But I have worked on a few projects, and a couple of them I think are actually new starts since I saw you last. I started this one right here. It's called Cozy Quarter, which I kind of feel like it should be Cozy Quarters, but the pattern very clearly says Cozy Quarter. It comes from this book, Nesting Places, from the artwork of Carolyn Shores Wright. It is book number 96 of Country Cross Stitch. And if you've been with me for a while, you may remember that I have already stitched the other 3. I believe that one was the one I did last year. And my mother-in-law is already in possession of the other 3. So this will be the last one in the series and she will get this one. This one has a nice start on it. And this will be, sorry, let me move the needle miter out of the way. This will be going with me when we go camping next week, to see if I can't kind of finish it up real quick. And while we're here, I would like to also point out this super cute needle minder that I received in the mail a month or 2 ago. Thank you so much to Taryn from TV Designs, Taryn Burley. Got that with the cutest little card. Cute card. She says in the card that these little birdies were on her porch. Aren't they cute? And just that she felt I needed that needle minder, and she was right. I did. It really made my day to get that in the mail, and makes me think of Taryn every time. So thank you again, Taryn, for that. Then what else did I work on? I worked on, I made another new start, and I will have to put a picture of what this one will look like when I'm finished up here, because you can't tell much from this. But this is Minnie in the Library. And it is charted by Haid, and I'll have to put the other information up at the bottom of the screen because off the top of my head I don't remember who the artwork is by. This one was a project totally enabled by Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy. She had mentioned that she was going to be starting this one in April. Like last year she mentioned this. And then she and Terry Lee from Terry Lee Crafts, or from the Absent Minded Stitchers, we're going to start it together in April. And I kind of invited myself. And so I don't think Terry ended up starting it, but Sarah and I did start it in April, kind of in honor of National Library Month. And so I've gotten a nice start on that one, but I am not going to be working on that one for a while because I want to get some other stuff done. So the big thing that I've been putting a lot of time into is Mini Deer Creek, which is also by Hade. I believe this is artwork by Donna Gelsinger. And I have made quite a bit of progress. This is another thing pushing me to do this video today because I really need to move the scroll rods up. As you can see, I'm getting very close and really need to move them, but I kind of wanted to show this on camera once before I do that. I still am fascinated by this piece. I have a Lowry stand and it sits on my Lowry stand, so I will look across the room at it sometimes and it just blows my mind how beautiful and real and lifelike it feels, it looks. I mean, like those trees, it's just amazing. I still would really like to get this finished for my father-in-law as a Christmas gift this year. I do not know if it's going to happen, but I'm trying to give it the good old college try. I think I figured out the math, and if I were to do about 1,500 stitches a week between now and mid-November, I would have it done. So right now I'm really trying to push myself hard to do more than that because right now I feel like I have more time. But I will keep you posted on that one. So anyway, if I could finish this one, that would be great. In the area of finishes, I actually did finish some stuff. Okay, so there's probably going to be a funny little break in there because my battery died and I owned 3, but not a single one was charged. Gotta love technology, don't you? So I wanted to show this. I think I was basically at the end of showing this when I cut off, but I had done this before, finished the stitching, but I have fully finished it and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I really like the 2 little itty bitty clotheslines. I do own the other 2 patterns in this series. I do know for a fact that one of them I don't want to do. I want to do the one that says irony, the opposite of wrinkly. And the only reason I bought the 3rd pattern is that in each one of the patterns there's a bonus pattern, and I wanted the bonus pattern because I think I'm going to hang these in my laundry room, and I would like the 2 that I'm going to do with the bonus pattern probably in the middle. So anyway, I was pretty pleased with that finish. I finished one of my Mill Hill kits. This was Mill Hill, it's called Mill Hill Melody. A lot of beads, you can see the beads in there. Spells the word music. And actually this one is very close to being fully finished. It's going to go in this black frame that I just spray painted yesterday, so gonna get that framed up today, and then I will be giving that to my husband to put wherever he wants. I finished my other Mill Hill kit that I had going. Both of these were Whip Go goals to be finished, and they had been called, so that's why they got pushed through. This one is called The Joy of Christmas. Each little square was almost like a little mini finish. Snowman, some mistletoe, a present, the word joy, a candy cane, a reindeer, a wreath, and Santa. I stitched it in this frame. Backside, I just stapled the perforated paper to the back. And to tell you the honest truth, I'm real tempted to just leave it like this. Hang it on the wall and be done. Well, I mean, it will go in the Christmas stuff, but I thought about taking it off, painting the frame, and then part of me says, it looks fine just the way it is, so I might just leave it. And if I ever tell anybody that I'm going to start another Mill Hill kit, tell me not to. They are super cute when they're finished. They really are very cute. I don't like working in them. I don't like the perforated paper, and I don't mind beading, although that adds a whole nother, like, you know, if you've done it, you know. My plans for the next month going forward, the two Whip Go things that were called for this month, one was called Give Thanks. It's a Teresa Kogut pattern. I believe I have a picture of where it is right now, and I'll insert that right here. The goal for that one is to put in 500 stitches. So I will be taking that one with us camping to try to fill in the 500 stitches. And the other one that was called was my 3 Little Words, which is a Lizzie Kate series. I'm on the last of the patterns. I will need to finish that one and do the border. That one will also be going camping. I think I'm going to take 3 pieces with us camping. Cozy Quarters, 3 Little Words, and the Give Thanks. And I'm going to try while we're camping, because they're all smaller. They can fit on my lap frame. Easy to pull out and work on in the camper. So I will take those and work on those. And I'm also going to continue really trying to put a lot of work into Mini Deer Creek. I really feel like if I could push closer to 2,000 stitches a week for the summer months, that I might have a chance of still getting it done. But we'll see. I would really like to get it done, just because, like I said before, I would like to whip down. I'm trying to get some of these smaller projects done and not start anything. Even if I could get some of my smaller ones done in Mini Deer Creek, I still will have 3 full coverage large projects. I have Sunlight Sonata, which is a Tilton Crafts, which is huge. And then I have Mini in the Library and Mini Village Bookstore, which are both Hades, and they are both very large. And I just feel like that's kind of crazy to have quite so many going when, I don't know, I need to rein it in. I would really ultimately like to have those 3, and then maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 medium to small projects that I can switch in and out. We'll see how that works for me. As far as purchases go, I really haven't purchased anything in the cross stitch area other than some DMC floss. I'm still working on getting my full collection, and I'm getting close. I think I have about 40 or 50 colors left to buy, and I'm kind of waiting for like a Joann's coupon to just make that a little easier on the pocketbook. So next up, let's talk about my knitting. I am still slowly but surely working on my longline cardigan, and I will put the cover photo of that up here. I've made progress, probably not as much as I should have made in the last 3 months, but I have made progress. I believe, let me get this situated right. I'll lose my needles, but oops, there we go. I believe there's that white right there is the lifeline I had put in. I think I told you about that the last time I was showing this, and so there's my marker that I put in after my last Crafty update. So I have done, well, I mean, that's a sizable amount from there to there. I have done a bit, but I still have quite a ways to go. Basically, So this, it's hard to make it look like a sweater, isn't it? That's the back. And I'm basically just adding length at this point. And to do a whole round takes me about a half an hour per round. And I'm basing, well, yeah, and I'm basing that totally on if we go from home to Mount Pleasant and my husband's driving and I knit, I can do about a round and a little bit more on the way up there. That's the only reason I've ever timed it. So, I mean, I know that I'm at the point, I just did another waist increase line. And so I think I have to do 15 more rows and then do another one of those. And then the pattern says something about once it measures a certain length. So I'm kind of praying that it will measure that certain length when I get to that point. And then we'll be on to adding sleeves because we're sleeveless right now. And that should be interesting because we'll have to pick up stitches, which is not my favorite thing to do. But anyway, I really pray that this thing fits me when I'm done because I really like it. I love this purple. And I'm a librarian, so I wear sweaters all the time. And I would love to be able to wear it, so I really pray that it fits. I mean, I know it'll fit somebody, but I hope it fits me. So that is what I've been doing in the knitting area. And I really, truly would love to finish this, not only because I would like to wear it, but also because when I visited the yarn store in Saginaw, that's probably been, what, almost a year ago now? I bought 2 or 3 other patterns and the yarn for them, and they were shawls and cowls, and I would really like to start on them, but I'm telling myself I really need to get this finished first. I have decided that probably sweater knitting is, I mean, I'm not saying I will never do another sweater, but I think that cowls and shawls are really my thing because they're pretty much one size fits all, and they might take you a while, but they probably don't take as long as the sweater is taking me. Anyway, next up, let's talk some paper crafting. Believe it or not, I have done some paper crafting. My sister-in-law, who is the one I blame for getting me involved in paper crafting in the first place, recently had kind of got back into it again. She had never really gotten out of it, but she's really picked up the number of cards that she's been making lately. So she's been sending me pictures of them, and she started sharing YouTube videos with me. I mean, obviously, I know that people make YouTube videos about crafting. Why did I never think to look up people who are making YouTube videos about how to make cards? But anyway, I've discovered a couple of new people in that area, and one in particular, if you are a card maker and you are not already subscribed to I think it's really Robin Stamps. Robin Armbrecht is her name. She makes great cards and she gives great directions, and every one of her videos also has a PDF that you can download from her blog with exact directions and measurements. And this is my kind of card making because I am not good at coming up with the ideas, but I'm good at copying the ideas. So anyway, one of the cards she showed, this is not the front of the card she showed. This is one of the graduation cards. I made a whole bunch for my husband's senior students. It's the inside of this card really that is what I got from Robin's video, but I did make a bunch of these. He only had 5 seniors this year, but I made like 25 cards, so I have some for the future. But this is the part that I think is the coolest thing ever. Ready? There's a gift bag inside. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? And it's totally just made. She gave directions on how to cut the paper and how to score the paper, and I just thought that was the cutest little thing ever to have this little gift bag inside of the card. And it still lays pretty flat, and I actually I don't know if I've ever shared this. I think I have, but maybe not. For the students who manage to stick with band all the way through high school, what we do for them for a graduation gift is we put together what I call the senior memory. I used to call it the senior memory CD because when we first started, we were doing it on CD. And then I switched to DVD, and now we've actually switched to putting them on flash drives because in the last few years, we've noticed that a lot of computers aren't coming with CD or DVD drives. So in order to make sure that these kids could access these files in the future, we're hoping USB sticks around for forever. We give them a little USB drive, and on it I put video recordings of every one of their marching band, not every one of their marching band, one marching band show from every year. So they get every year's show. I try to include a couple of concerts. I include the audio recordings of their festival, their band festival performance. And if I have any extra video that I've taken, sometimes I'll throw that on there. And then I usually put together a slideshow of just photographs of them throughout the years. You know, so Memorial Day parade, I take pictures, and at band concerts, I take pictures and I just put them together. My ultimate goal when I started this project many, many years ago was I really wanted to have a recording of them playing every year from 6th grade on. And I've never managed to do that, which is totally on me because obviously I'm just not getting there to take the video that I should be taking or get the recordings. And my husband probably has recordings, but it's a lot of work to figure out what year that was that they were in 6th grade and then pull a recording. And so anyway, it's still, to me, I think a very neat gift, and I wish that I had something like that from my high school years. But anyway, I did put a little piece of silver, what do you call that stuff that you put in gift bags? You know, the little paper stuff in there, and then I stuck the little flash drives in there. And then I was actually, for the 5 kids, I actually ended up throwing these in the mail. I did put them in a padded mailer just because of the USB. But so I was really proud of that little gift bag. To me, it's just the best thing ever. So I made those, and I might throw a couple other cards up, pictures that I've made in the last few months, and I'm trying to get myself back into it. I do enjoy it once I get into it, and if I have directions that basically lay out what I need to do and how I need to do it, then I really do kind of enjoy it. I have bought a couple of things in the paper crafting arena. One of the things that I invested in was I think it's called a Sizzix. This is an older one. I got it on eBay, but you know, it works just fine. It didn't come with any of the plates that you need to run through it. But basically what this does is you can buy die cuts and embossing folders to stick through here, and it will emboss your paper or cut your paper into neat shapes. And I really like the die cutting thing. I do have a few embossing folders, but I am finding what I use it for the most is the die cuts. So I did buy that. You know, just trying to do some new stuff. I think I did promise you all a little craft room tour. Maybe I can do that soon. It's kind of a mess right now, although why, I don't know. So that's really all I have in the paper crafting area, I guess. Let's talk a little bit about books and then we'll wind this up. So since I visited with you last, I have read or listened to about 20 books. And I'm not going to talk about all 20 of them today, but I did pick out 5 plus 1 series that I wanted to mention to you. The first one that I want to mention to you is called The Edge of Belonging by Amanda Cox, and I just finished listening to this one on Thursday night. I believe this was a debut novel for her, and it just came out within the last year. It was excellent. I really, really enjoyed this book. and I hope that she writes more. It was just a very good story, well written, and it tugged on my heartstrings more than once. You really came to care about the characters. So I really enjoyed that one. Before that, I listened to a book by Sarah Sundin, who is known for writing World War II Christian historical fiction. And this was also a World War II novel. It was called When Twilight Breaks. And it was also very good. It was not quite like her other stuff. It seemed a little more serious perhaps, but it was still very good, and I enjoyed it a great deal. Probably the favorite book that I want to share with you today is called When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer, and I know that her name looks like Gabrielle, but I listened to a podcast where she was interviewed, and she said her name was Gabriel and her family calls her Gabe. So she didn't tell the story of how she came to have a name that looks one way and is pronounced different and is actually pronounced more like the male version. But I believe her name is Gabriel, not Gabrielle. Anyway, When the Day Comes was a very unique book. I do enjoy what are called time slip or dual time novels. Those are novels where perhaps one or two chapters take place in 1894 and then the next chapter or two takes place in 1910 or something like that. Like there's two different time periods going on, and many times it's two different sets of characters, but at the end the two stories mesh together and you find out that they're connected in some way. When the Day Comes, that's the title of the book. When the Day Comes was a dual time novel, but it was unique in that both time periods, which I believe were 1774 and 1894? I don't remember the second time period. It was the same, the main character was the same in both time periods. The main character's name was Libby, and she was born with a gift of being a time crosser. When Libby fell asleep in 1774, she woke up in 1884. And when she fell asleep in 1884, she woke up in 1774. No time passed, no time was lost in either time continuum while she was gone. So the people in one time period didn't miss her and didn't wonder where she was. And the whole premise of the story was that when she reached the age of 21, she was going to have to make a choice of which one of those lives she was going to continue living, and the other one she would disappear from. She would die or whatever. I don't think I have ever read a story like that before, and it was really good. And again, I actually don't think this was a debut novel for this author, but I think it was a debut novel with a major publisher. I think she's published for some smaller publishing houses in the past, but this particular novel was her first with, I think it was Bethany House. So it was really good, and if you like time slip novels or dual time novels at all, I would really recommend that one. I really enjoyed that one a lot. Then another one I wanted to share with you was the Bradford Sisters series. This was by Becky Wade. There are 3 novels in the series, but there are 2 novellas. There's actually a novella that comes at the before the novels start, which is actually the story of the parents. And then there are 3 novels, and there's another novella that's stuck in the middle of those. And I read the first novella and then the 3 novels. And then when I was trying to update my Goodreads, I realized that there was this other novella. And I started looking into it and realized that I've already read it, because that other novella actually appears in a book of 3 Christmas novellas. that I read last year, and it was like, oh, I read that already, but I didn't realize that was connected, and it did start ringing some bells actually when I got into about the second or third book. I was like, those people sound familiar. Like I remember a story, something about them, but I couldn't place it until I looked at Goodreads and figured that out. So anyway, that was a good series. A little bit of mystery, a little bit of romance. It was a modern day contemporary series though, so it was not set in historical. That one did deal with some more gritty subjects. So just people, reader beware, like there's, it all happens in the past, but you're told about it. The mother of the one character was attacked and killed, and you do hear that story. So if that kind of thing bothers you, you should be aware of that. The last one I wanted to share with you is called Dear Mr. Knightley. That one was by Catherine Ray. It was just a cute story. It wasn't really, the main character was obsessed with Jane Austen. I think that's where that whole thing came from. And then there was a character in the book named Mr. Knightley. So it was just a cute story. And again, coming of age, growing, learning about yourself kind of story. It was good though. So there are some book suggestions for those of you who like to read the same kinds of things that I like to read, which I know is not everyone, and that's okay. That's the beauty of books and libraries, is that there's something there for everyone. Otherwise, life is good. Really enjoying this nicer sunny weather, although this last week in Michigan has been a tad bit hot. And from what I'm understanding, next week may be a little warm also, but that's okay. We'll take it while it lasts. I'm still walking. I believe today was day 127, and I've walked about almost 375 miles at this point for this year. So I would love to get back up to I still haven't done a 6-mile walk on a Saturday yet this year, and I would like to get back to that, but I don't know, I just haven't felt up to it. This morning I went 4. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at really, right? Not everybody walks 3 or 4 miles every day, so I think I'm still doing good there. I need to cut myself some slack sometimes. Anyway, sorry it's been so long since I did an update, and hopefully it won't be 3 months before I do another one. And I hope that everyone out there is finding lots of time to do whatever it is that makes you happy, and enjoying hopefully some nice weather in your area. And I will check back with you hopefully in a month or so. Bye.